Hello, everybody. Welcome to another exciting episode of Jimmy's Jambox. We're here. We're back at it again, and we're going to get on into it. But before we do, as always, please make sure to like, subscribe, push all the buttons, do all the things. You know, I don't know where they are, but you do, and I trust you. With that being said, here's a quick word from our sponsors. Organic herbs and botanicals, skincare and edibles, wellness for body and mind. The Brothers Apothecary. Fine teas and remedies. Ronald Records. From indie gems to classic hits, discover the heart of local music. With live shows all the time, up close and personal, and regular releases on their in-house label. Ronald Records. Supporting the community, one track at a time. All right, thank you all so much for watching. Again, shout out The Brothers Apothecary, Ronald Records, and Portland Water. Thanks for keeping us hydrated. And with that being said, let's go ahead and get on into it. Here is today's guests.
Hey, I'm Connor.
Hey, I'm Ethan.
Hey, I'm Zach.
Hey, I'm Malik, and we are
Lesser Demons.
Hello.
Hello.
Hey.
Thank you guys so much for joining us.
Of course.
Let's go in reverse order. So we'll start on this end. And why don't you tell us each a little bit about, who you are and what you do in the band.
all right. I'm Malik. I play bass, and
Same.
nice.
Sometimes
I sing a little backups, but yeah, that's who I am in our band.
I'm Zach. I am the drummist.
Nice.
I hit the drums and I hit them very hard, and
Yes.
that's sort of what I do, basically.
Explains the cool haircut.
Thank you. You gotta have a cool haircut if
Oh,
you're a drummer.
yeah. Well, you only really get seen from like here up.
Yeah.
So you gotta make
You really have
window.
You really have to
count.
focus on this 50% of your body. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, for sure.
All right.
Hey, I'm Ethan, and I am the guitarer, I guess. He's the drummist. I'm the guitarer. And I sometimes do some screams into the microphone and they're really loud and scary. And yeah, they don't let me sing though. Don't let me sing.
Hey, I'm Connor. I am the lead vocalist and one of the guitarists, so I'm kind of like the front man of the band. Yeah.
Oh yeah. And just kind of open room from this one. What got you each into music initially? Like, what was your individual starts?
You want to start?
Sure.
Yeah.
When I was a kid, I watched one of my friends play a Beatles song on guitar, and was like,
Ah, yes, the old classics.
I want to do that. And then it was all downhill from there.
When did you did you start on guitar or did you start on bass first?
I started on guitar, then moved to drums, and then bass was kind of last.
Interesting.
Yeah.
What made you decide to stay in bass in the end, or are you just doing bass for this?
I mean, I do bass for this, but it's kind of my favorite at this point. Like,
Oh, I get it.
yeah, it's kind of a nice middle ground of like, playing drums and doing the rhythm stuff, and then still having some melody in there too.
Yeah, very much so. Oh yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah, so my father is a drummer.
Oh, inspirational.
Yes.
Nice.
He hasn't really played for a while, but
I can just hear you play now.
yeah, exactly. But yeah, he was in a band. He had a band called Private Pool when I was very young. They were just sort of a bar band, kind of grungy bar band, and so drums were around me a lot when I was younger, and he had a drum set up in his storage unit over off Airport Way, and he would just take me out there all the time and try to get me on the kit, and eventually I did, and the rest is history.
Oh yeah.
He just sort of forced me to get on there, and I was like, thanks for doing that. Now I can play drums.
I was gonna say, he's like, you must carry on the legacy.
Yeah, exactly.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, now it's it's a very big part of my life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, shout out to Pops for that one.
Yeah.
That was a pretty cool experience.
Yeah.
For me, my dad plays guitar, and I always obviously looked up to him, but I started with piano first and did all the kind of like, when you're like 8 years old and learning piano stuff, and it's not the most exciting stuff.
That
that was how I had to start too. I get it.
I actually like hated playing music for a while, and I did guitar lessons for a sec, and they were trying to teach me like the classical stuff that I really didn't care about.
Yeah.
And then my dad gave me like the guitar tabs for Back in Black by AC/DC. And I was like, okay, this is cool now. So ever since then, it's just been, nonstop and wanted to do it. So, yeah.
Oh yeah, I dig that.
I think a big part of it was maybe my older brother, because he was always very musical. He played piano, and he actually went to school for composition.
What nerd?
Yeah, he's like a total nerd. Yeah, but I don't know. It was just always cool to see him play music, and he played guitar a little bit. And I think I always just wanted to play guitar when I saw that. And then I guess just to be real, like I think I was like 10 or 11 when Guitar Hero 3 came out, and that game was like life altering.
Yeah.
And I think I just got to a point with that where it's like, okay, I can hit the buttons and it's fun, but like, what's next?
Yeah.
So I started playing guitar.
Damn, you're one of the rare few that like actually got into real guitar from Guitar Hero and
totally.
stuff.
No, yeah.
Wow.
Absolutely.
I think a surprising amount of people.
I was going to say, I forgot about
and
that.
then like they became musicians from that.
I know a lot of people who got a guitar afterwards.
Oh, yeah.
But stuck with it.
Yeah.
That are still currently playing.
Yeah.
Much smaller number.
Yeah,
Much smaller.
that's
number.
true.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah. So I was, doing that for a while and got really into it and was just totally like in my bedroom by myself playing guitar all throughout middle school. And then I kind of just became a vocalist out of necessity. Nobody else ever wanted to sing. And I was like, sure,
get that.
yeah, I'll do it. And it's kind of just continued to be like that.
yeah.
So, yeah.
Well, one of them says they're not allowed to. So
No, yeah.
He can do screams. He just
Yeah.
can't.
I mean, does the drummer get a mic?
Oh, he's a great
We
singer.
do cover shows.
Yeah.
Okay.
If we give him the mic, it's dangerous because he's probably the best singer out of all of us. So,
Okay.
I could do some good backups. I think I would suffer as a front man.
I mean, it's hard when you have to be behind the drums.
Yeah,
Anderson .Paak pulls it off real well,
he
but
does. I mean, he's
one of the few.
he's an anomaly.
Yeah, very much so.
Yeah.
And then I have a couple foundation questions I'll like to check in with everybody on. So before we get into more of the now, and this one, whoever thinks of it first, just shout it out. But what was the first album you each bought with your own money?
Technically didn't buy, but I found it on the floor of Lloyd Center.
All right.
Incubus's Science. Yeah.
wow.
Was it an Incubus show? Or what were you doing at Lloyd Center?
I was just
Sorry, Lloyd Center.
yeah.
My bad.
Yeah, no, I was just
names.
I was there with my mom or something.
Okay, so you're at the
to go
mall
there and
you just found a CD.
yeah, I was like 8 or 9 and I just found just the disc. There wasn't a case. It was just on the ground and it worked.
Damn.
And I was like, okay, this is mine now.
Yeah.
I don't really remember the first record I like purchased, but that's like the first time I remember being like, this is a CD that I have now and I'm going to listen to this.
Did you know who Incubus was at the time?
I did. My dad like had played me, some of their other stuff because he was a big fan. And Jose Pasillas was like the first drummer I ever
Hell yeah.
was super into. They were a very foundational band. It's kind of funny.
Okay. So that was kind of a like,
Yeah.
I love moment.
Yeah, exactly. But I was like, this one's like way heavier than the other stuff you showed me. And I was like, what the hell's going on? So that's like the earliest memory for me of like just getting a CD for myself.
We'll let
I
it count.
technically didn't buy it, but
Yeah, we'll let it count because it's such a cool answer.
yeah. There you go.
Yeah.
How about you guys?
I remember, okay, this is a little weird because I didn't buy this, but me and a friend of mine, when we were probably like 11 or 12 years old, we got each other Christmas gifts and we like asked each other what we wanted. And I bought her a Taylor Swift CD. I forget, it was like the gold one. And she bought me Ride the Lightning by Metallica.
Whoa.
And so I guess that would probably be.
And now she's your wife. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
Yeah. So like, I think I explicitly was like, ooh, get me this record.
Okay.
And so I kind of like count that as the first one that I bought. But that was also very foundational for me.
Very much.
Still-
That is a phenomenal album.
Yeah.
Still my favorite
Yeah.
Metallica album.
Yeah, I would say as far as like collective album goes, yes, very much so.
Yeah.
I think the first one I got was I didn't buy it, but I took it from my dad's CD pile, and it was the first Perfect Circle CD.
Mm.
And I didn't really know anything about it, but I thought that the album looked like a video game. I was like, this is probably cool. And it turns out it was pretty cool.
Yeah.
It
I
is.
still have it.
Hell yeah. I dig that. That was the guy from Tool's other band, right?
Maynard, yeah.
A super group. They're pretty sweet.
Hell yeah.
Nice. Yeah, I mean, my dad raised me on like hair metal, so he'd always burn me like Motley Crue, Guns N' Roses, and Skid Row CDs. But I think the first thing that I got that was like really mine was like, I think it was either Facelift or Dirt by Alice in Chains. I can't remember which one, but
Okay.
that was like when I finally could like choose my own music. That's when I did. So
Gotcha. Okay, so y'all had pretty good foundational like music experiences and tastes growing up.
Yeah.
What was the first live show you each went to that was like specifically one you wanted to go to? So like you saw what was happening, you got the tickets, you went to it.
See, that's a fuzzy memory for me.
Yeah.
I'll say one of the earliest shows I do remember going to was a School of Rock show.
Oh, okay.
Like the actual School of Rock that exists.
Yeah.
I was a student there for like 7 years. I think I started when I was 11, went all the way till I was 18. And I think I went to see one of their, because they just put on shows where they cover bands or records or whatever, and it's just a bunch of kids playing the songs, you know.
Yeah.
It was at Brabati's Pan. I don't know how old Portland you know about, but Brabati's Pan downtown is right by Voodoo Donuts.
Oh, okay.
It's not anything now.
Yeah.
As far as I know. Right?
is it in that little alley?
Yeah.
Is it
I don't
the
think
strip
it is
club
anymore.
now?
Is it? It might be.
I mean,
Yeah, it figures-
there's like a 12% chance any place in Portland
It's
could be a strip club
Most
now.
strip clubs per capita in Oregon. Yeah. Yeah, and that was actually, they were playing Metallica songs. I don't remember if it was like Master versus Ride the Lightning or something, but it could have just been like all Metallica. But I remember seeing that show and being like, I want to join this, and I want to play drums, and I just want to do this all the time.
Hell yeah.
That was like what got me into like wanting to perform live
Hell yeah.
and do the thing, you know?
Yeah. Oh, that old chestnut.
Yeah, that old chestnut. Yeah, exactly.
Hell yeah.
My first show, I didn't buy the tickets for this, but I remember like my dad and I were both very excited to go. I was like 8 years old and we saw Deftones
Oh, okay. Hell yeah.
at Roseland years ago. And I recall him like them playing one of their songs and he like picked me up so I could see. And I was just like, that I want to do that. That's so cool.
Yeah.
And like, yeah, still love that band.
Hell yeah. Now, before we go any further, and we'll modify the question lightly, I still want to know the first ones you guys chose to go to. That is the one because parents are rad and will bring you to cool things if they're into cool music. But now I want to know what the earliest one for you two guys are as well. So we're going to expand the question. But given how cool your early musical tastes were, I'm very curious to know, like, what was the ones you decided to choose? Like, you were like, I'm going to that. And it could be later in life. It doesn't have to be the earliest one. I imagine you were probably going to some pretty cool ones early on just by default.
Got lucky.
Do you guys want to go? Or?
I was going to say, why don't we go to this side for a moment?
Yeah, I'm just like trying to think.
Well, what was the earliest ones for you two? Now I have to know.
Yeah.
We're expanding the question.
Well, like I think the earliest show I went to was Rodrigo y Gabriela.
Oh.
They're like this flamenco guitar, but not really duo. They basically just played like rock music, but with Spanish guitars. And they played at Edgefield.
I was there.
And I think, oh yeah, you were there too. Oh yeah, fuck, shit. Those are my curse
Small
words.
world. We were in the same car.
Yeah, I just I was really into guitar, and they were great, and I think I just really wanted to go see them play Metallica.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
They do Metallica.
They do
covers.
that. Yeah, they do that. Yeah.
So they're like Apocalyptica.
No, but they have their own songs too. They do their own.
I think
Yeah.
Apocalyptica does too.
Do they? Oh.
Yeah.
They might. Don't quote me on that. I'm sure they do. Apocalyptica, if you're watching, let us know.
Yeah, let us.
To the channel.
Yeah.
Come be on the show, you guys. What are we doing?
Yeah.
Come hang.
For four cellos in here, I think.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll take out the table.
Yeah. So that was like, I don't know that was really, I don't think I saw that show and thought like, ooh, I want to play music. But That was like the first show that I remember going to. And I definitely was the one who wanted to go to that. And I think my dad took us, probably.
There's some dads involved for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Aren't there always?
It's like dad versatile band, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah. The very first for me was my dad took me to Velvet Revolver, which was
Oh, hell yeah.
post Guns N' Roses. Yeah. And, I was obsessed with Slash because of Guitar Hero. And also just, I loved Guns N' Roses. And, but then Alice in Chains opened for them. That's how I actually found out about Alice in Chains. And I was like fourth row, and it was mind blowing. And I think I liked Alice in Chains more than Velvet Revolver, actually. And but that's just like the first one that I can remember that we ever went to. But I don't know. Yeah, that's all I can remember.
Hey, that counts. That's definitely a cool one for sure. All right, now again, we're gonna circle back. You guys remember the ones like later on?
Yeah, as early on as I can think, I was probably 15. I had gotten into this band called Terra Malos. I don't know if you've ever heard of them.
I have not. No.
Math rock band, very much like, OG math rock band. But I went to see a house show that they were playing. I remember being like, okay, I'm gonna go see this show, and like I'm gonna get a record, and that's like the first time I ever like really got the full show experience of like talking to the band afterwards, and like, doing the thing, being like super into it.
And was that like the first time you were at like a show that wasn't like an organized thing, like the school rock stuff, or like like an event, like a bigger event? Yeah,
as far back as I can remember, it's like that sort of era. I probably had been to a few other like house shows or whatever.
Okay,
but that's a pretty solid memory of like first time like going to see a band that I was really into.
Hell yeah! Did you get all the merch?
I mean, I got a record.
Hey, that
counts. I have it to this day.
Oh,
like
we actually have it right here.
Yeah. Oh, shit, I didn't know we were being interviewed by Nardwar. Oh my god.
Hell yeah! Well, thank you for sharing that.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. I think the first thing I remember like getting tickets to and like wanting to go to, this is, coming up in the indie rock era. I went and saw Silver Sun Pickups.
Oh, hell yeah.
Friends.
Hell yeah. Man, that's a name I haven't heard in a minute.
Right? Yeah.
Are they still doing things?
I think so?
Yeah, maybe.
I don't know. I don't know. I was like big into like that kind of thing and like Smashing Pumpkins and all that kind of. So I was, I was there. I was like probably 13 or so.
Hell yeah. Well, that's badass.
Yeah. Good times.
Okay, I'm not sure which one came first, but I remember like very clearly really wanting to go see Lamb of God. And, like,
hell yeah.
going up to Seattle to see Lamb of God. And Malik was there. And the other one was Gojira. And I can't remember which one came first.
Whoa.
Lamb of God was.
Did Lamb of God come first? Okay.
Were you also at Gojira?
There was.
Oh, yeah. And that was like, I just remember like my family had a vacation planned. And it was when they were supposed to come to town. I was like, sorry, I'm not going on this vacation. And of course, my parents were like, are you kidding me? Yeah, that was like, I had to go to that show to go see Lamb of God.
Hell yeah. What era of Lamb of God was it? Do you remember?
I think it was like right after Wrath, maybe the record after Wrath.
Okay.
Yeah. It was like still OG, well, maybe not OG, but like the main lineup that before Chris left the band.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it was cool. It was great. It was like a really packed show, and I think I got right up to the front, and I was like 15 years old, and so I was just getting crushed.
Oh yeah.
By people. But it was great. Yeah.
Well, that's badass.
That one sticks out to me too, because I remember I had just like gotten my driver's license, and like I remember I got the car that we were going to take up to Seattle, and I was like driving this car for one of the first times driving on my own. And I was like so stoked that we were going to get the show.
Yeah. Wow.
And we were very worn out after that one because we drove back from Seattle the same night.
Oh,
like 3 in the morning.
Oh,
it was good though.
You are bold individuals for that. I did not survive that drive when I was doing it for. I went up there for like Ozfest 2007, I think.
Nice.
And yeah, because my dad wouldn't take me when I lived in California. He was not a show dad.
Yeah.
Yeah. So my mom was like, come up here and I'll go with you. I was like,
Damn.
Oh,
bet.
Thanks, Mom. Yeah, wow.
Mom had a great, she didn't care about the music at all, but she still had a great time. Good mom.
hell yeah.
But
It's a good mom.
we're not here to talk about me. And I think there's one more answer.
There's one more, yeah. I can't really remember like the very first one that I ever like wanted to go to. By myself or with my friends. The most like early one that sticks out that is significant was the band Ailstorm. It's like a pirate metal. It was really exciting because I never had a group of friends that wanted to go to shows. And this is the one time I could convince them to go because it was pirate themed. And that was the first time I was in a mosh pit. And that was the first time, kind of doing any concert without my dad, I think, honestly. So,
Yeah.
That was the first time he flew the coop.
Yeah.
I think so.
Oh yeah. Or left the nest. Sorry.
Yes.
That's the more appropriate term there.
Yeah.
You're like, I got out, Dad.
Go see Ailstorm.
My newfound freedom.
You wouldn't let me see Necrogoblicon. I'm changing things now.
That was the next one, actually.
Yeah.
I actually did. And then they played with Ailstorm as well.
Oh my God.
Really? Oh, wow.
Hell yeah.
I had a group of friends that was just all into these like weird, dumb bands because they weren't musicians and they just thought it was funny. And I'm like, well, I mean, it's a pretty good guitarist in Necrogoblicon, so I'll go.
Did you know John Goblicon has his own podcast now?
Really?
Yeah.
I've seen clips from it, but I've never watched.
He's the singer now too. He doesn't. I think they got rid of their old guy.
I don't know what roles they all play in the band.
Jump around on the stage and do nothing. And now I think he sings for them. So,
That makes sense.
yeah.
That makes sense. He's a real go-getter.
Yeah, I guess so.
For him.
Hell yeah. Well, thank you guys for sharing that.
Yeah.
Now let's get into more of the band.
Yeah.
And let's get a super easy one out of the way. How'd you pick the name?
That's for you guys.
Yeah, that's you too.
You wanna?
I can take that one, I guess. We were trying to find a name for a really long time, and we were just thinking about naming stuff on the way up here. It's not really any of our strong suits.
It's really not.
But a friend of mine was like, she's really into RuneScape.
Yes.
Character, or there's a thing called a lesser demon. She's like, that'd be a pretty sick band name. And I was like, can I steal that, please? She generously said yes.
Nice.
Solve that problem.
Nice. Well, hey, that's a pretty straightforward story.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's definitely it's a cool one. I'll be honest. Like, yeah, it definitely has like lore elements just in the it feels slightly D&D-esque.
Yeah.
But like
Escape themed band.
Yeah.
but it's also like the words are really easy to spell. They're easy to remember. I do this bit where I break down names. I should have said that in the beginning. But like it looks cool. It sounds cool. Like you really check all the boxes for a good name.
Yeah. It's a catchy
thank
name.
Yeah. Definitely shout out to your friend for that one.
Yeah.
Nailed it. And then how did you all meet? And I feel like the story starts at this.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the three of us have known each other since we were like 9 or 10 years old.
Gotcha. Did you grow up in like the same neighborhood or like same?
I went to the same school.
Yeah, from 5th grade on, I went to the same school as these guys up until high school.
Yeah.
And then we sort of. Sorry, I'm taking this over.
Go for
but,
it. You're good. Go for it.
but yeah, we on and off contact throughout the years, but then eventually they had a band together, this band, and
Okay.
they had tried a couple of drummers out, and one day you hit me up, and I was like, well, if you don't get anyone else, I'll give it a shot.
Yeah. Yeah. It was funny because we had this conversation over Instagram or text or something that was like, Zach's basically saying, yeah, if you guys can't find anyone, let me know. And I was like, yeah, we'll let you know. And then after a couple of drummers, I hit him up like, yeah, we can't find anyone. Like, could really use you, bro.
Funny story.
Please.
Please.
Everyone sucks.
And it sort of felt like, why didn't we just do this from the beginning?
Gotcha.
Yeah.
And what initially made you two want to like do band stuff together? Like, I mean, I knew you like knew each other.
Yeah.
Or, like, was it just the natural progression of like, hey, I'm doing guitar. Hey, let's do this together. Or were you already doing drums by that? No, you must have been playing bass by that point.
Yeah.
Ooh, now I'm trying to piece together things.
Not the first band.
Yeah, there's
Oh.
several lore.
Yeah.
Ooh, can I ask what was the name of the first band?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We used to have like a metalcore band called Hell's Parish back in the day.
Okay.
And then
Definitely a very metalcore name.
Yes.
and then we were in a couple other bands after that. We were in a band called Holiday Mom that was like a indie pop punk band.
Oh yeah.
And then we were in I don't even know, just like a sort of silly indie rock band called Bad Boy Teenager Club.
Names weren't our
Kind of
thing.
turned into this.
Oh, the acronym for that is BBTC, and that actually rolls off the tongue really well.
Good. Yeah.
But it's one letter away from being something very different.
Yeah.
We're going to leave that one on the table.
Podcasting channel.
Yeah, exactly.
All right. And then when did you join the fray?
Yeah, so that same girlfriend that was dating Malik, that gave him the band name,
Mhm.
her sister actually linked us up together, and then they let me come to band practice one time, and I was like, "Hi, I play guitar," and I was really into country music at the time, so I had a Telecaster
Ah, yes.
and a Fender amp, and it just didn't work.
I don't know. It kind of rubbed off on us.
Yeah.
So we would kind of go in and out of the Telecaster thing now, but yeah, they let me join them, and been in there since. So yeah.
Yeah, it was definitely like weird times when this band started because it was sort of after the pandemic started, so it was like difficult. It was difficult to get together with people.
Yeah.
So there were a lot of like everybody masked up band practices. They were kind of weird, and it was like, I don't even know if we're ever going to play a show.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Our first show was a house show where everyone was masked up.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now that I think
It was
about it.
masked up.
Yeah.
It was like singing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Weird
You're an
time.
old individual.
For weird time.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, damn. Well, thank you guys for going down memory lane with us.
course.
But let's take it officially into the present now.
Okay.
And let's talk about the writing process.
Okay.
And we're going to break it up into chunks, but we're going to start right at the beginning. So when it comes time for a new song to enter the band's sphere, how does that happen?
Well, it's mainly this guy. Right?
Interesting.
Usually Malik.
Yeah.
Okay, so sleeper bass player.
Yeah.
I do sleep.
I do sleep.
Yeah, I mean, I guess just the way it's panned out over the years is that I will try and come up with an idea for a song,
Mhm.
and it's in varying stages of completeness, and then I'll show these guys, and they're all like, way better at their instruments than I am at their instruments, so then make them sound cool. And I think it's gotten a little more collaborative over the years. Like the band first started, it was just Connor and I,
Mhm.
and was very much just like, hey Connor, can you like join me on these songs I wrote? And then like now I feel like it's a little more.
I mean, really, it was just you. Because originally it was like these songs Malik had that he just wanted to record. So I was like recording them with him, but he was playing everything.
Mm.
Drums, bass, guitars, and then one song where you sang. And then I think that's like in that process of making those songs, it was like, well, why don't you just be in this too? And then, it just kind of carried on from there.
Mm.
Yeah, I would say usually Malik usually has like a whole like demo.
Yeah.
Like the song is kind of done-ish.
Yeah.
And he shows it to us, and then I guess I should say it's in a state of being done where like it could be that.
Yeah.
But then it comes to us and we sort of turn it into something different.
Yeah.
Usually kind of morphs.
We'll also bring songs sometimes, each of us individually, and then we just let Malik work his magic on it,
Okay.
make it like 10 times better. And
Okay, so you give him like the idea of a song, he
Yeah.
turns it into a full idea and then brings it back to everybody,
Definitely.
and everybody reframes his idea.
yeah,
Mhm.
basically.
Gotcha. Okay. Well, you'd be surprised how much that is actually the common approach for most bands.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
There's usually a primary songwriter, I feel like.
Yeah, it's helpful
Yeah.
at least for direction.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess like when it comes to kind of getting the sounds put together, do you always try to like aim for like a specific sound to like keep it like tight, or are you like all right pushing the envelope a little bit?
I mean, we push it a little bit,
Yeah.
you know.
Well, I guess let me rephrase that last bit, just because every genre now tries, I think, to push the envelope a little
Yeah.
bit. Like,
Right.
are you just like, this is wildly outside of the things we do, but we'll let it stay?
I mean, we had banjo on the thing we most recently recorded.
Okay.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
don't know. I mean, we're definitely not shooting for like a genre. We're not like listening to we're not like, oh, we're this kind of band and we're just going to play this. Like that conversation never really happens. It's normally just like, does the song feel good? Does this feel right?
Yeah.
Maybe like emotionally or affectively is what's happening, what we want to portray right now. Is that what we're going for? So I think we have a lot of conversations that are like, we should make these kinds of songs at this point in time. And it's less so like, we want to fit into this thing that's happening or has happened.
Yeah.
And I think beyond that, we just kind of try to do things pretty naturally. We just sort of let things happen. I
feel like we have like a discussion every time we're coming up to writing new music or like doing a new EP or album or something like that, that we like, here's an idea of some sounds that we want to do.
Yeah.
And we'll target that. But then when it comes down to like actually making the music, it kind of ends up going many different directions. And we just embrace that and have fun with it.
Oh, yeah, I dig that.
Like putting banjo on a song that doesn't need it.
It kind
Is
of
that going to be played live or no?
I'd love to, but I'd have to switch really fast.
Yeah.
You can backing track some banjo.
Yeah,
You know what I
totally.
mean? Like if that's the only backing track you have,
Yeah.
I would let it slide.
Yeah.
That'd be
If you're
funny.
like, hey guys, we had a great banjo player on the song. We'll never be able to repeat it. Here's the recording.
Yeah.
Connor kind of fills the banjo hole live.
Yeah.
Fair.
That'd be funny to get like a little pedal or something and just like,
I'm sure
the
you could get
banjo
something that would get
sample.
that. Yeah.
I don't know if it would really be worth it.
No, you know what you do? You get one of those like stands that like hold
Oh, yeah.
you know,
Uh-huh.
just
Yeah.
full level.
Expensive though.
I know it's ridiculous, but
Yeah.
it'd be-
Oh, I didn't know that. That's
I mean,
funny.
I'm sure you could make your own.
Probably, but I
banjo
don't
is
know if
pretty-
it's going to hold my instrument. I need to trust
banjos
it,
don't weigh anything.
Yeah.
Banjos don't weigh anything. The drum body.
My banjo's pretty heavy.
Banjo.
Oh, is yours closed back or open
Yeah,
back?
it's a closed back.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. All right. We
Bluegrass.
won't get into the weeds on the banjo too much here. But I am curious to know now, when it comes to like creative differences, how does the band deal with that?
Wrestle.
I mean, yeah.
Some war.
Yeah, exactly. Lots of Thumb Wars tournaments, even. No, I don't know. It's pretty democratic. It's sort of, if there's a disagreement, it's sort of like, all right, who likes this, who doesn't, and then,
Yeah.
I think we all kind of feel it too. I don't know, like if we can't really decide where a song's going, a lot of times the song just kind of goes to the wayside. We just sort of we tend to really persevere with the songs that are coming together easily and feel good and make sense. But it's not like we've ever gotten into a fist fight or anything over a song.
yeah,
We're usually pretty,
yeah. It's never been
Y'all
that
seem pretty
serious.
even keeled as a group. So
Yeah,
that makes
to be.
sense.
yeah,
While behind closed doors,
yeah.
we just cut to a clip. Cut to a clip.
Yeah, technical difficulties.
All right, and now actually, I want to take a moment then, and I want to kind of talk about some of your music.
Yeah,
sure.
So I jumped on ye old Spotify,
yeah.
and you guys have got music going all the way back to 2020 on there,
Mhm.
and you've always had a super solid sound, at least from the recordings that are available. Obviously, I'm sure those first couple of days were interesting.
Yeah.
But like your sound, it's very moody, it's very driving, it's a little melancholic sometimes. Sometimes it's just badass. Like there are definitely a lot of those moments, and even like the early stuff, like Zero. The EP, is it Zero or nice,
Zero.
nice, nailed it.
Yeah.
It's very tight. It still feels very relevant, and it really kind of sticks to the time period well. And then the track Winners, real good. It has this like dissonant feel to it, but it's still like engaging. It kind of reminds me of like if 9 Inch Nails wasn't so horny. Like,
Okay.
Oh man.
that's the vibe I got from that song in particular.
That
But
tracks.
then, like as time progressed, definitely you get a little bit heavier. You introduce kind of some more realms, and I think like A Cut Above is a great example. That seems to be a group or like a crowd favorite. And then Business Park. That track is cool. I really like that one a lot. The EP attached to it is really solid as well. So it's cool to see that even like the most recent things kind of hit real well. But the thing I appreciated the most, I'm sorry, I'm going long. I really liked your guys' music. The thing that I really enjoyed the most, the one through line for all your music, is your arrangements and your song durations. There's your compositions are really, really solid. There's a lot. It's not just, you didn't pull like a Miss Murder to make a 5-minute song and just do the chorus 5 times. You know what I mean? Like there are rises, there are falls. There's like there's actual like musicality in them. It's not just progressive music. You know what I mean? Like there's like actual things and moments and times that happen throughout all of your songs. So it's a common point, and that's just something I enjoy as a person. So it was something that I thought was really, really cool, and I wanted to share it with you guys.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
Appreciate that.
Well, like I said,
That's awesome.
I went for a long time. So now I'll turn a question over to you all, and I'm curious to know, what is each of your favorite songs to play?
That's a good question.
Oof.
I think Business Park is up there for me. That EP is the first record that I'm on for this band. The record before and the other EPs, that's all him playing all the drums and bass.
Gotcha.
So I got to sort of do my thing on these tunes,
Yeah.
and sort of work with their sound, and I just really like a lot of what I did with that part, and it's just it's a very high energy song. It's just a lot of fun. It's always a crowd pleaser, Like,
Yeah.
I get to kind of shred over it a little bit, It's one of the more like shreddier songs drum wise. I think if I had to pick a favorite, probably Business Park. Yeah.
You want to go ahead?
I mean, not to be boring, but like same song. Like, I think you also mentioned Winners, because that's also one that I feel like when we play that, people really, really like it. Or
Cool track.
it's just like a good vibe, I guess.
Yeah.
It's a little, I wouldn't say it's uplifting, but it's a little less melancholy than some of our other stuff.
Totally. It had, that's the part that really jumped out to me, is that it's not like an song.
Yeah.
It kept not having down notes to it. Like
Right.
every time it would start to do this kind of it would then like pick up. It almost had this like adventurous element to it, but like in an undertone kind of way. So
We've done it a few times as like an encore, as like a final song that we play, and it always just feels good in that context, because it feels like a victory lap almost.
that would crush as an encore song.
Oh,
That was the one that you made everybody call you back out for.
Right.
Oh, that would blow the roof off.
Yeah.
That is a perfect role for that song.
Yeah.
But also, I mean, you could play it anywhere. It'd be badass.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've done it like at the front. We've played it first and last and in the middle. Like, it's great.
Yeah.
It goes anywhere.
Sure.
It's also the only like, we don't really have any other like swung,
Yeah. Easy one to like jam over to. I feel like we don't really jam that much as a band, but like that's one where we can kind of mess around on. And
Yeah, that one's different every time live.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that my favorite song to play live is probably a song called Holding Patterns that's on the Business Park EP. And it's funny. It's probably like one of the hardest songs for me to do live, because I think that kind of stretches my vocal range. So it always just feels like, it really feels like I'm just out of breath the whole time, and it's kind of exciting for me. And I feel like we get a good crowd reaction out of that song. And that's one where I think we sprinkled in all these little moments that really make it kind of feel worth it. Like there's all sorts of little, parts where we'll drop out or we'll turn on certain like pedals, things like that. And I just feel like we really nail like the emotion of what's going on with that song when we do it live, and it always feels really good.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I love that.
It's probably our most like dynamic.
it's definitely a pedal dancer on that one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tip tap. Yeah.
Yeah, we have like, there's like the verse in that song is kind of like this sort of sad girl indie vibe. And then like there's a part in the song where we're doing like crazy, like the crazy kind of sludgy part, and there's a guitar solo over it. It's like very.
That was our first guitar solo song.
Yeah.
Was it? I guess
Really?
it was.
Oh.
I don't know. You had like on Letters
Yeah. That was our first Ethan
Yeah.
solo.
that's a Ethan song. Okay, I'll take that one.
That's true. I didn't even
Yeah.
think of that. Funny.
Yeah. What about you?
I guess we're almost covering that whole EP, but I've been really liking the song Due Diligence a lot. Like bass wise, it's really fun. I used a lot of cool effects on it.
Yeah.
Sounds real beefy. But also, I don't know. I like the feel of that one a lot. I don't know.
That one's really fun on the drums too.
Oh yeah.
Zach went hard.
I think there's some really fun new ones coming, but
Ooh.
those aren't out yet. That's
That
spoiler
one's-
warning there.
That's fair.
Very fun to play.
We'll touch on a little bit of what's coming up next in a little bit here.
Awesome.
Now, and again, this is just kind of to the room, whoever wants to go in whatever order. But do you each have like a fun band memory you want to share? You know, you've been doing it for a little while now. You probably got a couple of moments that you're like, this is pretty badass.
And there's a few.
Yeah.
I mean, opening for CKY was pretty cool.
Yeah.
Oh shit.
That was interesting.
Was that the Hard Pill show as well?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Oh, cool. Hell yeah.
Shout
Yeah,
out
I mean,
Hard
that's the biggest show we've ever played. and-
Yeah.
Damn, now I'm 3 times as sad I didn't go to that show. Ugh.
Yeah, you missed out.
Yeah, that was.
I don't know, that pops out as like one of the cooler things we've done
That counts.
just
Yeah.
as a band, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, I always like playing the bossa nova when I get to big stage, you know. It's still a little cramped for other reasons
Yeah.
because CKY, but you know, still very, very cool opportunity. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Yeah, and I felt like we got a good reaction from people at that show.
Yeah,
Yeah.
The people who worked at the venue kept telling me that they were really stoked on our set.
Nice.
Thought we were great, and we had like 5 minutes to sound check. It was it was a crazy
It
day.
was a little chaotic, but
Yeah.
it all worked out, I think.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I don't know. What are the cool memories?
I mean,
Yeah.
I think every year we do this Halloween show at Holocene
Mhm.
where we do a cover set of like 90s covers.
Mm.
Buffy the Vampire Slayer themed.
Mhm.
I mean, I remember the first one of those we did. I was just like, oh shit, this is like, this is before the CKY show, but I
Yeah.
think this is the coolest thing we've ever done.
Yeah.
And every year we do that and we dress up as silly characters. And I think my personal favorite was the year that we were all the guys from King of the Hill.
Oh, that's a good
Yeah,
one.
that was good.
Oh, there's a good array for that too.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I got
Yeah.
my horseshoe out for the whole thing.
Nice.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
But that sticks out to me is just like those shows, just like, I think, not to toot our own horn, but like I think that we're kind of a good band to do 90s covers. Like
That's fair.
and
Yeah.
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 we always have a lot of fun at those.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
At the same place we do a goth prom show, which we just did actually.
Yep.
And that is also a great time. I think both of those kinds of shows are just they're really fun because, you know, the rest of the year we're making our own music and
Yeah.
doing that kind of stuff. And these are our chances to like do some really fun, just dorky covers and
Yeah.
stuff like that.
Yeah.
Playing other people's music is really fun.
It's,
Yeah.
yeah.
It is.
And some people make a lot of money doing it.
Yeah, that's kind of where the money is.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for real.
There's 2 guys I used to play in a band with, and over the past while, they've just amassed like a harem of cover bands. They're in like 10 cover bands each, I swear.
Wow.
There's one that's from here that's like really popular. I think it's called it's like Pig on the Wings. They're like a Pink Floyd.
Oh yeah, I've heard of those
Yeah.
guys.
Like tour nationally.
Yeah.
Like
It's
Well,
yeah, like
wild.
yeah, and like they have like
yeah.
they have like a full like pro like lighting rig and like sound rig. Like it's
Yeah.
like if you lied to somebody and said, and then you gave them a lot of drugs that it was Pink Floyd, you could probably convince them it was.
They'd probably remember it as that. Yeah.
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 We're going to do that, but just with like Alien Ant Farm songs.
Yo, shout out to Alien Ant Farm. I don't care who you are,
Yeah.
where you're from. They are one of my, and there was small inklings of their sound in your sound, but I couldn't attach it to any one
That guy.
point specifically.
Yeah.
Mhm.
That
But it's a little bit me. Yeah.
actually explains it perfectly why I couldn't pin it down. Because I was like, there's this movement here that feels very, very Alien Ant Farm, but there was not enough on top of it for me to be like, oh, it's this specific thing.
Yeah.
We gotta cover a Michael Jackson song now.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
was very into that band. These guys really,
You know,
veteran,
they-
but
They had this weird outward appearance because everybody knew them as like, you know, the Smooth Criminal.
yeah.
Yeah.
But the stuff that like didn't reach the top in the right ways, like, you know, Movies was a great song. Glow, phenomenal song.
Yeah.
This is for like the 3 people that still listen to Alien Ant Farm that watch
Yep.
this. But they had a lot of really good music. They just didn't make that the focal point.
Yeah. I think, yeah.
We're not here to talk about them. We're here to talk about you guys. Any other fun memories? I think we've.
You need one.
Yeah.
I think the most fun I've had is we went to the studio in November to record a new thing that's not out yet. And our recording process has always been like kind of weird. Like when it was just me and Malik, it was in Malik's basement and we were just sort of making do with what we had. We didn't even really have, amps or gear that we were super excited about, but I think we actually got some cool sounds with that stuff.
Yeah.
And then when we put out the full length, these guys were sort of like entering into the band. So it was this sort of like, okay, we're finishing this record.
Mhm.
We also got to teach these guys how to play all these songs and start doing live shows. And it was kind of a lot all at once.
Mhm.
And this time for this new EP that we haven't released yet, we just went in and we played all the songs together. We kind of did it for real, like you're supposed to.
Yeah.
And it was really fun. It was just like a great time.
Yeah.
Awesome. We just did one day and we knocked out 5 songs and it was a really cool time. Yeah.
Was it all like everybody playing at the same time?
Yeah.
Track?
Mhm.
That, you know what?
Yeah.
Super underrated, and I understand why people can't always do it because of space available, but that is the best way to record songs.
Yeah.
Because you're going to like those subtle nuances you catch from like the way somebody's playing a part in the moment. You can't recreate that when you play back to it afterwards.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'll say that like most of it was like that. We definitely did some overdubs and realized like, okay, we got to make this better. And I thought that was pretty cool too, that we were able to get this sort of like awesome foundation
Mhm.
and then just sort of figure out, okay, this part maybe isn't as strong as it should be. Even like this tone isn't what we want.
Yeah.
And kind of going over things from there. And I just feel like we arrived at a really cool place through that process. And it was generally like a pretty fun time with the band,
Hell yeah. I love that. Well, definitely looking forward to it now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, not that I wasn't before, but all right. Now, before we move on to the next portion, this next question is probably the densest question in the interview.
Okay.
It's for all of you individually. It's not a band question, but we've talked about your experience with music, the actions, the reactions, but when it's just you and music, one-on-one, what does music give back to each of you?
Good question. I don't know. I think it's very much a place that a lot of negative emotions go, outside of this band, I'm in a bunch of metal bands and I'm definitely more active in the like writing process of those bands. And I think, it's an outlet for what I can't necessarily process in other ways, but it's a positive mode of expression too, for sure. Like music is fun, it's not just like I'm a tortured soul or whatever.
Never had any fun with music.
Yeah, exactly. It's purely expression of hatred and anger and but I don't know a better way to put it, but other than like it keeps me sane. I feel like if I didn't have music, I'd be a worse person probably. I don't know. I think I can owe it to music, for that. I don't know. I'd just be doing less important, more harmful shit. I don't know. Not that I'd be a delinquent or anything, but I just wouldn't have much else going for me. It's very much my life, and it's what I love to do, and it's given me most of my friends.
Yeah.
And I'm thankful for that. So yeah, I think music has given me life.
Yeah.
It sort of feels like inevitable, it's like the purpose.
Yeah.
Can't really imagine, like you said, I can't really imagine doing anything else besides music. And I guess, I don't know, lots of things feel like work to me, and music never really feels like work. Or if it does, that's a good sign to like change things up, try something else.
Yeah.
Like the hours just go by.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? When you're playing music, it just feels right. I don't know how else to describe it. It's almost like a obsession sometimes too.
Yeah.
Where you go down into a hole, maybe you're writing a song or you're just practicing or whatever it is, and then you don't realize that hours and hours have gone by. just because it like, I don't know. It just, it tickles something in my brain or something. Yeah, it feels like the most important thing is music.
Oh yeah.
I feel like for me, like music's always been this weird vessel of like nostalgia for me, I guess. You know, I attach so many memories to like a song I've heard or have played. Some of our own music, like really kind of, we've been playing some older songs lately, and that just like brings me back. And I don't know, I like having those experiences attached to music so much, and just kind of like listening to something or playing something and just like kind of reveling in that and loving that and letting it transport me to like a different kind of headspace or mood or anything like that. And I think that's kind of, I know it's a short one, but that's all I got for that.
That's okay.
I feel like I definitely identify with everything that you guys have said too, but I think like as someone who's like maybe not the best at connecting with people all the time, like I find it's a good way for me to like put a lot of my stuff into, you know, just like emotions and everything, and like I can get very lost in the process. And I feel like, I start to like get weird if I am not able to play music for a length of time. Like I go on like a trip or something, I'm just like, I want to get home and go nerd out on my computer for a while.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know, it's like defragging the hard drive or whatever, you know?
Yeah.
But I can't imagine like whatever I do with my life or whatever, like I will always be playing music in my free time, because it's just like I don't think I could get by without it.
Yeah.
You know.
Oh yeah. Well, thank you guys so much for sharing each of those. That and also it's cool to see, because you know you do seem to have a pretty good like group energy. You know, you all seem to have similar approaches, similar thoughts, similar feels, but still like individual like outlooks. So it's nice to see that your ways of feeling towards music are both individual, but like equal in strength, equal in conviction, whatever word you want to use for it. So that is that's rad. I really appreciate you guys sharing that.
Yeah.
But now we're going to go ahead. We're going to move on to some hypothetical questions.
Oh boy.
Yeah, and for these, sky's the limits. The questions are all made up, so the answers are allowed to be as well. But this first one is pretty straightforward.
Okay.
If the band could share a bill with any currently performing act, so they just have to be active and out there right now, who would you each want it to be?
Creed for sure.
Are they active?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
They're still doing it for sure.
Poster and everything.
I didn't know if they broke up after that.
Oh, probably. I don't know.
That's hard. Wow.
I mean, there's a lot of choices.
Yeah.
Man.
Hanson.
This is a band decision.
Yeah.
Hanson?
Yeah.
No, it's each of you. Each
Individually. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Man.
That'd be a weird on-camera group discussion to have.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. We were talking about The Armed
Oh yeah.
pretty recently. That would be super rad to open for a band like that.
Yeah.
I think that would be my pick as far as like a current band that's like doing stuff and
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
a lot of people are a fan of.
Yeah, that'd be pretty sweet.
Very cool.
I don't know. I feel like I would just go with something ginormous, like 9 Inch Nails, or like
Yeah. That's
The less horny version.
we're
them. Just like,
Yeah.
less horny 9 Inch Nails.
Fitting for sure.
They're not active anymore, but I think that Mets would be an awesome band to share a bill with.
they were.
They just recently stopped being
Oh,
active.
damn.
Yeah. But that band rules if you haven't heard of them.
Yeah.
I don't know. The only other thing that comes to mind is like, it'd be really cool to play with a band like Radiohead. Like you're saying, you know, something that's just.
Yeah, I mean, if we're going like stadium,
Yeah.
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
the Deftones, you know. Who else? Korn.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Like Korn is kind of the collective.
Crazy.
Wait, is POD still around? No.
Oh man, I would do it. I would do
They're
it.
in a heartbeat.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. And then this next one's silly. Next one's just
Okay.
a
Okay,
fun
cool.
question.
I like silly.
Letting you know now.
Like
if the band's music could be the soundtrack to any movie, which would you each pick?
Airbud.
Requiem for a Dream.
Whoa, dude. Yeah, which one?
Which one? Oh God, I only know one.
The OG is the classic. Yeah.
Air Buddies. Come on.
Oh,
There's a right answer.
You are getting quizzed on this, so. Wait, what did you say?
I was joking, but Requiem for a Dream.
Goofy question. I maybe like Lost Highway. I feel like our music would fit into that movie with like the Rammstein and the Nine Inch Nails and stuff.
True.
Yeah.
Ooh, would y'all ever play a show with Rammstein?
Yeah, 100%.
Okay.
I think
Without a
so.
doubt.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
forgot about them, but yeah.
Michael Bay's Transformers.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
like
That would be pretty
kind of
cool.
fitting.
Actually, though.
Yeah.
Actually, though.
Yeah.
That was like 30% joke.
Yeah.
I will. I would rewatch that movie.
Yeah.
If we were the soundtrack?
Hmm?
Yeah, 100%. 100%.
Oh, yeah.
All right. Well, thank you guys for entertaining that question. Like I said, it's silly. But then to wrap up the hypothetical questions, if you could each add an abstract instrument to the band. So, banjo's off the table now.
Dang it.
But so like not saxophone, not keyboard, like really, yeah, like one that you wouldn't normally see.
Cello. Yeah.
I don't think that's abstract.
I was
for
going to
us,
say,
though.
yeah, that.
Yeah.
For a rock band?
Have you heard of Apocalyptic?
On one of our songs.
I know,
We
but
just mentioned them earlier.
But like in
Yeah, go
in
weird.
the band, you
Go
know.
weirder. I think you can come up with something strange.
Okay, if we're thinking like really strange, man, I don't know, a theremin player.
Yeah.
Okay.
Cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, like a good theremin player
Yeah.
too. Because we tried to do theremin. That was
Yeah.
Yeah, not everybody can be the person who made the Doctor Who theme song.
I think I played theremin with my head.
yeah. You,
Yeah,
you
you
did.
did,
you
yeah.
did.
That was cool.
Yeah. That was more like a sound effect
Yeah.
than a.
Ooh.
Yeah. Be pretty cool to have like a real organ.
Mm.
Imagine
Yeah.
we're like playing in a church and there's like a real organist playing along
But
with
you don't
us.
tell anybody that that's going to be part of it.
Yeah.
So you just
The
go to hit
surprise.
that first chug of a breakdown. It's like,
Yeah.
They're just way louder than us.
On that note, I think mine would be like a tugboat horn or something.
oh,
Cool.
classics. Yeah.
Kind of vehicle.
I
Yeah.
want that thing that goes loud.
Oh, the
Drone tube.
The Arnold tube, apparently.
Yeah, it is kind of the Arnold tube, isn't it?
Oh, somebody needs to make that.
I'm sure someone has.
Cut the cameras, Jimmy.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Oh, man.
Well, thank you guys for entertaining that as well and the hypothetical questions in general. But with that being said, we are going to go ahead and start wrapping this up.
Sure.
What can we look forward to in, let's say, the next 6 months? What's coming up? What's cooking?
Well, we got this EP that we just finished. We got it.
Name yet?
It does not have a name yet.
Okay.
Yeah, we're still figuring that out. But
Well, surprise. Wait, no.
yeah,
Yeah. We got your name right
Look
here.
under your chair.
very excited about it. And I think we're probably going to try to get some more stuff recorded. Maybe. We'll see if it happens. But, I think we're really hoping to kind of go for it with this release and maybe do some like music videos or try to put some cool shows together. But that's probably like the biggest thing that you can expect to see from us in the next 6 months. And probably just some sort of adjoining album release show.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll go play outside of the state,
Ooh.
see what happens.
Ooh. Hell yeah. All right, then for this next one, go and look straight at your cameras. Tell everybody how they can find you.
You can find us on the Instagram. Should I give like handles?
Yeah.
At Lesser Demons.
At Lesser Demons PDX.
PDX, excuse me. At Lesser Demons PDX. We're on all the streaming services, so it's hard to miss us. What else?
If you need to book us, lesserdemonspdx@gmail.com is the best place for that. We've got a Bandcamp that I think is also, lesserdemonspdx.bandcamp.com.
That's about it. Yeah.
Yeah, we don't really.
On Neopets.
Yeah, Neopets.
I almost brought up Neopets earlier when you said RuneScape. I was like,
Oh,
See?
There
really
you go.
bringing it back.
yeah.
I
Yeah.
was going to say, bass
Blood.
players.
Yeah. Find us on Club Penguin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wait, that got shut down.
Gone.
It's gone.
No.
Penguin, no. All right, moment of silence for CP. No, I'm kidding. All right, and then any other plugs, any other shout outs, anybody else you want to put on while you're on here?
Personal plug. I have a band called Aseitas, Aseitas. We just put out a record last year called Eden Trough. You should check it out. I'm also about to be on tour with this little band called Knoll.
Whoa.
I'm touring for 5 weeks all around the U.S. starting in June, going all the way through to August. We have a Portland date on July 6th that you can come out to. Yeah, that's about all I've got going on.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Some shout outs. Shout out Joe Anderson. He was the engineer alongside us on the new EP that we haven't dropped yet, and he's the man. So love you, Joe. Thanks for everything. And I just want to give a shout out to Zeke, our friend Zeke, because they're just like, I don't know. They're like another member of the band, kind of. We love them. Yeah.
Shout out Jamie.
Jamie Burrito as well.
Shout out Hard Pill Boys.
Oh, shout out Hard
Yeah.
Pill.
Shout out Hard Pill Boys. We love you.
Gosh,
Get near.
I feel like there's so many bands that we could shout out, like,
Yeah.
or
Shout out Haswill.
shout out Ray Romano,
Mm-hmm.
Boys, Trauma Club.
Mm-hmm. Who else?
There's so many more.
Yeah.
There's a lot.
All
I think
gone
we
from my
covered a
head.
pretty healthy list.
We got a pretty healthy list
And to
there.
everybody they forgot, they still love you. There we go. Well,
Maybe.
we'll cover you with that umbrella right there.
Thank you. Saved our life.
Now, with that being said, I've got one last question to go.
Mhm.
Before we do, I'm going to steal the camera for just a second.
Yeah.
As always, y'all, please make sure to like, subscribe, push all the buttons, do all the things. I don't know where they are, but you do, and I trust you. And one more shout out to the Brothers Apothecary, Ronald Records, and Portland Water. Thanks for keeping us hydrated. And with that being said, the final question. And this is entirely up to your interpretation. Each of you can answer individually and however you think of it and wherever. But if you could get one more album from anybody, they could be alive, they could be dead, they could have not put out an album in 100 years, could have put out an album yesterday. Who would you want an album from?
Frank Zappa and the Mothers of Invention.
Hell yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Hell yeah. Man, you said that ready to
Ready
go,
to go.
too. Yeah, you're just like, I've been waiting for this. Frank, if you're watching.
Yeah, Frank, if you're watching from beyond the grave, come on, man. Bring it back.
Mine's fairly obvious.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let it out. Say it.
It's just Alice in Chains with Lane Staley. One more album,
I mean, that's a solid one.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Nobody's laughing because it's not a good answer.
I know yours, Connor.
Oh, you do?
I think so.
What is it? I can't
No,
think of
I'm not
one.
gonna say it.
Oh, well, shit.
I mean, I'll put one out there.
Yeah.
I would love another Jamiroquai album.
Ooh,
Oh, okay.
Right?
good stuff.
Right?
That would be great. Wait, so you know his, but he doesn't?
Yeah, I really don't know.
Well, it's similar to mine.
What is it?
Like Pantera, right? I don't know.
Well, I mean, yeah, I think so. But then, like, I don't love reinventing the steel. So maybe if they
Right.
could do another one that's like better than that
Yeah.
one, that would be pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There you go.
Or like maybe Metallica in their old style or something.
Yeah, like another Metallica Cliff record. That'd be pretty cool.
What if it was Pantera, but they replaced the main singer with the second singer from Killswitch Engage?
Oh, I'm sorry. I don't really know Killswitch Engage, unfortunately.
I think I do. I would sign off on that.
He's a phenomenal singer.
What if
This
it was-
man's got pipes and he's got range.
Okay, what if it was just like Pantera, but with Ronnie James Dio singing?
Ooh.
Like
That would
Cool.
be
Actually,
interesting.
It's the similar.
Yes.
Yeah.
When he was in Killswitch Engage, they did a cover of Holy Diver. And it's
Oh, okay,
phenomenal.
nice.
They
Hell yeah.
crushed it.
Okay,
Yeah.
I could see him.
Yeah.
on that.
Yeah.
cool.
I think I would probably pick Portishead, maybe.
Ooh.
They don't do.
I mean, I don't know if they have recently, if they just still do. So, yeah. Hell yeah. Well, those are all super solid answers. Thank you, guys. But with that being said, we are going to go ahead and wrap this up. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you.
For having us.
Yeah.
Appreciate it.
And this has been another exciting episode of Jimmy's Jambox. I'm Jimmy,
I'm Connor.
I'm Ethan.
I'm Zach.
I'm Malik.
and we're signing off. Later, y'all.
That's a wrap.
This is not a podcast. This is a show.
Keep jamming.